2, 3, 4. I am dark and you are light. You are blind as a bat and I have sight. It's Steve Saylor and JJ talking Star Trek Beyond. We saw it last night.
Hells yeah. Hi, I'm Steve.
I'm JJ.
And we saw Star Trek Beyond last night.
Yes.
In IMAX 3D. And Paramount actually did a pretty cool thing at the Scotiabank Theatre in Toronto. They had a Star Trek marathon where they showed all three of the recent movies, including Star Trek Beyond. So it was like a 7-hour marathon. I partook of the marathon itself. You were on the air.
I came in halfway through Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, you were on the air, so that was completely understandable.
Into darkness, sort of.
Yeah,
so
you know
what I mean.
But seeing actually all three of the movies kind of back to back, it was like a very nice, enjoyable experience. Like I had a blast. Like I mean, I love seeing things in IMAX. It's the only time I can actually see a movie properly. Is in IMAX, and 3D's the better. In IMAX.
Yeah, and I highly recommend. I think yesterday was maybe the first time I've ever seen an IMAX movie in 3D. Yeah. If you get the chance to do it, definitely see this movie in particular. Or any movie, but this one in particular in IMAX 3D. It is an amazing experience. We were in space, man.
Oh, totally. What did you think of the movie?
Finally, the crew of the Starship Enterprise is on its 5-year mission to search out new life and new civilizations. Finally, they are doing what the original crew from the TV series was doing when the show started, when the whole series started.
Yes.
So not a lot of this. In fact, none of it really was taking place on Earth.
Nope.
But I loved this movie, man. Visually, it was spectacular. They're really coming together in terms of the relationships and the friendships. The bad guy was awesome. Like I said, it was. It really is. It's really becoming Star Trek, as far as opposed to it being like a knockoff of the original Star Trek. It's really becoming its own thing. And really, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, 3 movies in, it's earned the Star Trek name. Yeah. And it's taken 3 movies, but they've nailed it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into actually some spoilers in a sec. But
sorry if that spoiled anything.
No, not at all. And I actually agree with you. Now that the third one, they finally found their footing. The first movie, basically, it had to set up the world, so there was a lot that had to be done in order to be able to establish this timeline or this alternate timeline of the Star Trek universe. And Star Trek or Into Darkness wasn't as great as what I wanted it to be, but seeing it again actually for the first time in a while last night, it actually is a little bit better. It's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah, I didn't bring as much baggage to the screening of that of it seeing yesterday.
But this one, it feels like now that they've kind of established themselves and they've kind of gotten a little more comfortable with the world and the universe, this one really felt like it was an episode of the show, like basically just a big budget version of the show. And
that's a good thing.
Yeah, oh totally. Yeah. And I liked it because it's like the crew's more experienced. They have more of a they're more of a family, like they were in the in the show. Yeah. And what I really liked about it as well was that it is a completely different story. It's not like it's just tapping into other aspects of the show or different sort of episode storylines or anything like that. It's its own original thing with its own original bad guy and its own original idea. Right. Well, minus I hate the fact that they always seem to destroy the Enterprise in every other movie.
I'm kind of liking that though. I kind of like that now we spoiler. Should we say spoiler?
Okay, but little mini spoiler. All right. Little mini spoiler.
We can expect a new Enterprise in the next movie.
Yes.
And I kind of like.
I mean, that's in the trailer. Actually, I don't even consider that a spoiler because I mean, there's no you see in the trailer, it gets really effed up. There's no way they're coming back from that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
So for me, it was tons of fun. This is director Justin Lin's first venture into the Star Trek movies. The other ones were, of course, directed by J.J. Abrams. And I was worried because his claim to fame is the Fast and the Furious franchise. Yes. And that has a certain look and a certain style. And based on the one trailer that I did see of Star Trek Beyond, I thought, okay, this seems like it's going to be Fast and the Furious in space. Yeah. It was totally not that.
No.
Props to him. Some of the visuals were just amazing in this movie. New angles, new perspectives, great job. Innovative camera work, innovative directing, and just a a ton of fun. I can't say enough really good things about this movie.
What I liked about what Justin Lin did was that he took what he learned and what he did in the Fast and Furious movies with the action sequences. So he knows how to be able to direct and to be able to produce an action sequence really well. But what I liked was that instead of just like a kind of a generic action sequence, like we see in a Marvel movie where it just sort of slows down the story, this one, like, there was a lot of action that sort of like did a lot of character growth. And like you could see storylines kind of like moving forward within an action sequence. And I really enjoyed that. And it was sort of like they paired up different sort of crew members that you don't normally get to see.
That's true.
And you get to sort of see their dynamic between each other. And I will say this, like, because it's the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, I mean, Star Trek is so near and dear to my heart. It is the first thing that got me into being a geek, being a nerd. So this being kind of like the tribute to 50 years of Star Trek, I think this is a really good movie for that tribute. Like if there was I'm okay with this being the 50th anniversary edition of Star Trek.
For sure. As a lifelong fan as well, in fact, the Star Trek, the original TV series it's the thing that, if you've listened to my show on 93.5 The Move, it's the thing that got me loving science fiction and this whole genre in the first place.
All right, so let's get into spoilers. Because there was some few things that actually I did like, and there was maybe like tiny little nitpicks in regards to the story. At first, I mean, I love I love the humor in this. It was because you had Simon Pegg sort of writing it, and so like I was a little bit kind of like not sure if he was going to add too much comedy. But what I liked about it was that yes, that had some jokes in it, but the jokes hit better than the previous movies.
And it was natural comedy. It seemed like things people would say in these situations. It wasn't here's the punchline and zagazing gonna nail it home. It was stress comedy in that they were joking where you would joke if you were in a stressful situation. And it was really natural and really, really well directed.
I did like the joke that they had at the beginning when Captain Kirk is doing his captain's log, and he says it seems like everything is episodic. And I'm like, that's perfect. That is because that is exactly what this movie is. It is very much like an episode of the TV show, and that's why I love it. I like the storyline. Had a bit of hints of like maybe Star Trek Insurrection. I kind of felt especially with obviously we're in spoilers, the twist of who Krall, who is the villain of this piece. There's a reveal of who he is. I don't want to say I kind of saw that coming, but it was like it's sort of like they definitely foreshadowed quite a bit of it. And I'm sorry too. Kind of a bit of a sidestep. We're gonna you totally see an ugly Idris Elba throughout the entire movie. Even at the end when they actually kind of did show his face a little bit, which I was kind of confused at how he did that. I guess maybe because he was away from the planet. I don't know, but it was like you got the prettiest man in Hollywood.
They showcase this guy.
Why hide him under that ugly makeup? Like I was thinking, I'm like, I want to see him. I want to see this man. Oh, but whatever.
They hardly do.
Shout
out to the Beastie Boys who are kind of the saviors of this whole movie. Should we give this all away?
This is spoilers. We're all good.
All right. So the way to beat the bad guys was to play UHF frequency to disrupt the bad guys' communications, and they were able to muster it together, and they broadcast the Beastie Boys sabotage into the bad guys' headphones or into their.
They used radio.
They
used radio to save the universe.
Which was awesome.
Yay,
radio!
We're not in a dying medium. Anyway,
we are not in a dying medium. No. There you go.
I mean, you totally see that coming a mile away when they say like, oh, we can disrupt their frequency by playing something
instantly
loud. Oh, it was like, done. Like, I did like that. And I loved Kirk's face. Like, Chris Pye's face, he goes, good choice. And I thought that was great. And they timed those moments well. Like those hits in the song. They hit it hard, and it was like it just made it like yes. I think did you clap at that point?
I was clapping.
It was like we were sitting beside each other, and I look over, and he's like clapping. I'm like yes.
Here's the thing. I read some of the early reviews, and some of the early reviews were way early reviews. This is gonna be early too. But they said, oh, it's kind of corny how they beat the bad guys, and I'm like, no, man, it is super effing cool how they beat the bad guys. I don't care what anybody says. It's awesome, and it brings the Star Trek universe into our universe, into the real world by playing the Beastie Boys.
I love that they call it classical music.
Yeah. It's great.
It's so good. Final thoughts. We kind of already, I mean, obviously through this whole video, we kind of praising it quite a bit. So what are your final overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, Justin Lin did a great job, innovative with his camera work. The cast, the acting was fantastic. I love this movie, man. I give it 2 thumbs up, and I give it a 10 out of 10. I thought there's nothing I can really say that was bad about it. I thought it was entertaining from beginning to end, and I can't wait to see the next one. And for me, it did more for the franchise as a whole than anything else has done for the franchise as a whole. It really brought the other 2 movies together and validated them in whatever ways they weren't being validated. And I love Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah. For me, I definitely give it 2 thumbs up, probably like an 8.5 out of 10. And it just was it was enjoyable to watch. I had a blast seeing it. And I think it was a great tribute to the franchise for 50 years. They also did a fantastic memorial for Leonard Nimoy and even Anton Yelchin.
A little nod to Anton Yelchin, which was nice.
Which was fantastic. So I definitely recommend seeing it if you're a Star Trek fan, or not even a Star Trek fan. You're just kind of a casual fan of these movies. Like it's definitely better. I mean, I would still say like the first one is probably the best of the 3, but this one comes a very close second. And I think it's a nice movie that it really showcases what they've been building since 2009.
If you can marathon the other 2 into this one before you go see it this weekend, I would recommend doing it. You can see what we're talking about. If not, it's a great standalone movie as well.
Yeah, cool. All right, so where can we be able to find you online or on the air?
You can find me on the air in Toronto at 93.5 The Move, weekdays from 3 to 7, and of course on social media, Twitter and Instagram at TorontoJJ.
And you can find me at Steve Saylor pretty much everywhere, or on this channel where I also play video games here. And check out some of the other reviews that we've done if you're kind of curious about the 2016 summer blockbuster hits or misses, as you might see it. So thank you so much. Like, comment. What'd you think of the movie? I know we're putting this out a little bit beforehand, but what are your expectations? What do you think about Star Trek as a whole? Leave a comment below. Let's have a discussion. Let's do it.
Let's rap, man. Yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So thanks so much. As always, we remain obediently yours. Bye.